Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky the Third. It's been a little bit, hasn't it? Now that the themed months are over, although the Zelda month content is still technically going, we're good to resume our slow and steady progress with this game. We are pretty much ready to enter the final chapter, which is pretty cool. I did kind of look ahead to see where the point of no return is. There is one, air quotes, optional dungeon, which we will of course be doing. It's how you get the best weapons in the game. Normally, so far, they've had you collect a series of books. I don't think I even really need to boost our CP here, but we're gonna not do it anyways. Okay, we're just gonna go. I'm a little rusty, he says, about a turn-based RPG, but it should be okay. So, we're good to bounce back to the airbase scenic route. Gonna mosey on over to the villa now, which gotta go this way. Hi, yes, hello. We do not need to fight you. I guess I'm gonna go up. Doesn't matter because it will technically loot, but I feel like this is gonna get us there a little bit quicker, maybe? Okay, maybe not. It's okay, we get to listen to the pretty mystical music. So yeah, we have one chapter ahead of us, which looks pretty linear. And then the optional area that I mentioned, which will be tough. Ah, right there. And then, when we go into the final dungeon, which there will be notification that this is it, that is the point of no return. Missed? Well, once again, we're in for some fun times up ahead. Oh, God. Oh, I've been kind of using this voice for Linebeck in Phantom Hourglass, and it's going to take a little bit to get back into Kevin, because Kevin's is distinct. Very specifically. Spent a long time with his voice, I tell you what, Bobby. No telling what it could be, but we'll have to walk through here eventually. Just take a deep breath and step inside, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to save, please. Can I... Control, please? Use keyboard. Keyboard easier. Let's go! Where? I knew it! Where are we now? This isn't Hooray Royal Villa. Oh, you're right! So where is this? Wait, isn't that the church's emblem? Kevin. Welcome to Astor House, the place where Ries, Rufina, and I grew up together. Surprised Ries doesn't seem to recognize it. Chapter 6, The Guardians' Trials End. Oh yeah, we'll save. If I'd known that it was going to be that quick, I would have done that at the end of last episode for a much better stinger. Chapter 7, The Distant Flames. Well, that's a pretty song. Looks like it's like early November, just with the way the ground looks. And the fact that it's snowing, of course. And this is only a copy of Astor House, yes? But it looks so so... Yeah, I can barely bring myself to accept it's not the real thing. Everything from the feel of the earth underfoot to the smells in the air are just like the real thing. Yeah. And this is where the two of you grew up? Judging by the emblem at the entrance, I take it this is a facility operated by the Septian Church? That's right. It's what's called a gospel facility. Think of them as a cross between an orphanage and a monastery. I see. So that means you must be... Well, no reason to dance around it, so yep, I'm an orphan. And how I came to be here is a story best saved for another day. Feels weird being back here again, though. It's been about 5 years. 5 very long years. Well, anyway, we're bound to find some kind of clue as to how to get to the 7th plane somewhere in here. Are you guys up for having a look around the area with me? Yeah, let's go. I doubt there'd be any treasure chests in here, but I'll hope anyway. Okay. This goes all the way, well, not all the way to the wall, but pretty dang close to it. Wait, why do they have stained glass? I mean, I guess it's for when you're inside. Because nobody on the outside would see that. There's an empty well. We used to get our drinking water out of here. We had no fancy orbital pumps either. We did it all using a good old-fashioned bucket with string attached. It was a nightmare. Oh, my Kevin feels so off in my ears. Tell me about it. We would go out on winter mornings and come back with our hands numb and red raw. Ugh. But looking back on the whole experience now, it was fun in its own way. I guess it was! Anything about the crops? No? You don't care about the crops? Okay. That's fine. You can not care about the crops, I'll forgive you. Nothing about the gate either. Just make sure, did I check this little wood area? I did, okay. Then, let's head inside. We'll go, we'll leave the church for last, that seems more important. What's this room? This is the living room, where we used to have all of our meals. Just don't make the mistake of thinking it was a warm place like Mercia Orphanage. The matron here was a stubborn old sister who was as strict as could be. Every mealtime we had to pray so much that our stomachs had given up on getting fed by the end of it, and we got yelled at for the tiniest thing. Oh, I see. That sounds like it must have been a rather unpleasant upbringing. You deserved it all, in my opinion. You never did as you were told, and caused her nothing but grief. Okay, I'll admit that's probably accurate, but still. Okay, so both those doors open. I think the one on the left is into a room, and the one on the right goes back outside? No. Okay. As you can probably guess, this right here is the kitchen, and this is where the older children of the facility did the cooking. It was also Rias's favorite place to sneak into whenever she had a hankering for some food. Kevin! That brings back memories of Matron Teresia's orphanage. Teresa? Supposed to be Teresa, no? And Daniel and Polly used to do that too. Perhaps they still do. Rias used to sneak into the kitchen when she was younger, did she? Now that's a mental image like no other. Please don't take everything he says at face value. Well, anyway, this was always Rufina's turf back when she was still here. She was always out here around mealtime making food for me, Rias, and the other kids. After she left, Rias and I took over her position. That brings back memories. Of course, then you left too, leaving me to handle it all alone. The mere thought aggravates me. In fact, I think you should whip up something right now to make up for your selfishness. Yes, ma'am. I'll make you something. Later. The only thing less reliable than a promise with later attached to the end of is one said by you. I'm not going to get my hopes up. Man, no faith in me, huh? Heh. Alright, nothing else in the kitchen? No? Okay. I checked that, right? Yeah. Ah. Okay, that's the exit I thought it was. Door there, room there, room there, room there. Let's start at the beginning. And this was the matron's room. No one's here now, though. Yeah. By the way, Rias, how is the matron these days? She's fine. Her injuries weren't lasting. She hasn't had the energy she used to ever since retiring, unfortunately. She really wanted to see you again, Kevin. She did, huh? Well, might have to stop by then. Once you get out of here, of course. And this here's the kid's bedroom. I slept here back when I was first taken in before graduating to the boys' bedroom. You never really did mix well with the other children. Rufina had such a hard time trying to get you to make friends with them. It was a real ordeal for her, you know. Yeah, I know. I was like a little hedgehog who didn't want to let anyone get near back then. I feel sorry for everyone who had to put up with me. I'm still amazed you even bothered trying to be friendly. Well, I knew you were only playing tough. Like that time with Rufina and the chocolate. Stop! We're not hearing that story here! I wonder what happened. Well, he certainly knows how to pique my curiosity. His first kiss. And this is the boys' bedroom, where I slept until I was about 10 years old. Technically, the boys and girls weren't supposed to enter one another's bedrooms. That never stopped Rias here from doing it all the time, though. What he neglects to mention is that it was his fault I did so. What else was I supposed to do when he slept in every morning he was on cleaning duty? Well, you could have just knocked on the door until I got up. But then I'd disturb the other boys who were sleeping, which would have been unfair. They weren't the ones shirking their duties. It was 100% your fault. Fine, fine. Whatever you say. Let's make this the girls' dorm. That looks like a book we need to read. This here's the girls' bedroom. The place where Rufina spent her nights. Well, same for you eventually too, Rias. I even used to sleep with her from time to time. Her bed was always cozy and smelled real nice. It was much nicer than sleeping in my own. After she left here, her bed became mine. I bet you were jealous. You bet! I was at the time, I'll admit. Oh. I thought you'd be a bit more flustered than that. I shouldn't have bothered saying anything. Give me a break. No, we're not to read that book? I see. Okay, I think that's this building entirely covered. Church... Oh. The door's locked. Figures. Is it locked? Yeah. Well, whatever. We can keep poking around. I mean, there is a side door right here. Door is stuck fast and doesn't have a keyhole. How does this door open? This is a side entrance that only opens from the inside. We can't get in from the outside. Yeah, if we want to get into the chapel, we're gonna have to go through the front. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure I've examined everything. I can look at the well again. Yeah, no. Can I leave? I can. That's not really a thing I want to do. Oh, I see what it wants. I should have examined the chapel first. Because when you exit, scene triggers. Once you've examined everything. There was no sign of anything in there. Our last hope seems to be the chapel. So it seems. What is it, Kevin? Hey, Ries? You were the one responsible for cleaning the chapel that day, right? What day? On Astor House's final day, when Rufina died. Kevin? That was when I was told... That was what I was told when I went to visit the matron afterward, at least. Well, were you? Yeah, I was. Why? That means the key's in your pocket, I bet. I thought so. Check your pockets, Ries. I'm pretty sure the chapel key's in one of them. Huh? Ries began checking the pockets of her habit. Eventually, she found an old brass key. It can't be. Is that the key? This is a surprise. I suppose this is just another manifestation of this world's ability to make thoughts into reality. Honestly, I wasn't entirely sure you'd find it in there. But in all the other areas on this plane, there was always a reason to take the person we needed with us. And this just goes to show that you really were meant to come here, Ries. But... No. As disbelieving as I am, this is definitely the chapel's key. I suppose all we can do right now is try to go inside. Yeah. Before we go in here, Ries, there's something I should warn you about. Once we step through that door, there'll be no going back. You're going to find out the truth about what happened that day. All of it. And you won't like it. Are you sure you're ready for what you're about to find? It's not our point of no return. We do get to go back to the garden. I'm more than ready. All these years, I've never been quite able to accept what happened here. The life I thought I knew just suddenly came to an end, with us all getting moved to other places, and I still don't even know why. I even tried to come back here just before beginning my training to become a squire, but it had already been demolished. I've been ready for a long time. I want to know the truth, and more than anything, I feel like knowing will let me get closer to you and Rufina. Okay, let's head on in then. Right. Kevin, I can't deny my overwhelming sense of curiosity, but would it be best if the rest of us were to wait outside? No. Actually, I'd prefer if you came in with me. This is relevant to you guys too, in a sense. Oh, that's pretty. A lot of blues and purples. Interesting choices. It all started 5 years ago. A Jaeger Corps someone had hired took this place over out of nowhere. By the way, how much do you remember of that day, Ries? Just so I know. I just remember a group of men in black forcing their way through the gate and charging in here. They tied everyone up, took the matron up to the second floor, and then... Next thing you knew, you were in a bed in the hospital at town, right? After which you found out that Rufina and I had come to rescue everyone, and that she had died in the process. Isn't that about right? Just what happened, Kevin? All I've heard is that it was the work of someone who opposed the church. I have a feeling it's probably, his stigma activates and he kills everyone, including Rufina. But I haven't had a chance to meet you since then, much less to ask you about it. I tried asking Instructor Selnate, but she wouldn't say a word. That doesn't surprise me. The Grausritter's commander can't admit this orphanage was being used as a smokescreen for an artifact that needed sealing away. It what? Here we go. A secret passage? I like this song too. I know it's redundant with this series, but... Wait! If there was an artifact here, you don't mean... Yup. Below here is a primal ground used to seal artifacts away, just like the one under Gransel Cathedral. Interesting. Oh shit, we do be walking. Well, I'm sure you remember. The day it all happened, Rufina and I were due to come back here for the first time in a while. We were both coming from different places we'd been sent, so we wanted to meet up in town and come the rest of the way here together. But then her train was delayed, leaving me in town to wait for her alone. And that was when I got word of what happened. All I could think was that you and the other kids were in danger, and so I decided to try to take out the Jaegers here alone. They weren't all that experienced, so fighting them wasn't even hard for a squire like me. Before long, I was able to disable them all and free the matron and the other kids. Or so I thought. You were nowhere to be seen. I asked the other kids where you were. They told me one of the Jaegers had taken you somewhere else, and that you were unconscious. I looked frantically all over trying to find you before eventually stumbling across this place. As for how... You remember how you didn't have your ribbon in your hair when you woke up, Ries? I do. What does that have to do with anything? I found that ribbon in front of the secret passage we've just gone through, and there were new footprints near it too. Made it easy to find the entrance. Oh. Anyway, after getting in here, I made my way down this staircase in pursuit of the Jaeger that had taken you. Hey, Ries? Do you remember what I was like back when you first met me? Yeah, I was still young at the time, but it's as fresh as if it were only yesterday. You looked like you'd been swallowed by blackness, like there wasn't a single thread of hope bound to you. It was... scary. I kept wondering what must have happened to you, what you must have seen to make you end up that way. What must have happened to me, huh? Rufina seemed like she knew. Before I met you, I killed my mom. Oh, fuck. Maybe killed isn't the right expression. It's not like I directly did it. I still let her die, though. I've still got a responsibility for what happened. Faceless. Growing up, it was basically me and my mom for the most part. My father showed his face from time to time, but not that much. From what I understand, he had another family elsewhere. But even without him, she did her best to look after me on her own. I loved her dearly. Kids in the neighborhood used to make fun of me for how I talked, which I got from her, but I just beat them up most of the time. She was always kind. She loved cooking. And, yeah, I thought the world of her. When I was 7, my father, who had all the money in the world, chose to abandon her. At the best of times, she was always a frail person, and after that, she grew more and more despondent. Her health suffered. I tried everything a kid could do to cheer her up, but nothing I did worked. And during one winter's day, when she must have finally had enough, she came over while I was sleeping and tried to strangle me. Jeez. I'm so sorry, Kevin. I failed as your mother. But I'm so tired. I'm so tired. At least this way, the two of us can... I guess she figured that if we were both going to suffer, we might as well take the easy way out as a family. But I wouldn't let her take me with her. Before I knew what I was doing, I had pushed her aside and ran barefoot out into the snow. I wandered around for a while after that. I couldn't understand what had happened, or what she'd been trying to do. Eventually, I could feel myself getting hungry. I thought that maybe she'd been able to clear her head. I made my way back home, nervous as could be, and... Aw, damn. Sorry for making you listen to all this. Still, I think that's probably when it happened. When my stigma was carved inside me. What? Interesting. So stigmas are formed then. You're not necessarily born with one? I kind of thought that it was like he was like born with it and it just kind of activated, right? Which, to be fair, it did definitely just kind of activate. That's the vibe I got earlier. But still, I wonder if it was fabricated. Like, if his mother was specifically chosen to be the mother, and the father, it was like a lab experiment, you know? Like some sort of society bullshit. I could see them doing stuff like that. What a strange place. Who would have thought a place like this existed under an orphanage? And this is where I finally caught up to the Jaeger who had you with him. He probably didn't think anyone was going to come after him. The second he saw me, he panicked, and putting his gun down, he ran over to this pedestal right in front of us. On it was the artifact that required sealing away I mentioned earlier. The Spear of Loa. What's the Spear of Loa? A malignant spear that transforms the body of its wielder into that of a monster. It's hard to believe something like that could be a gift from the goddess, right? Isn't that the name of his S-break? In any case, the cornered Jaeger grabbed it and used it. I didn't stand a chance. Much as I tried, I wasn't any match for the inhuman monster before me. He knocked me to the ground, and then went to raise the spear against the still unconscious you. That's all it took. Okay, so definitely not the Spear of Loa then. I need to look at what it's called after this cutscene. My stigma drew all the spear's power from it into its... Oh, maybe then. And blasted it, magnified countless times over, into the Jaeger's body. The result wasn't even a battle. Our precious home became a slaughterhouse. By the end, he wasn't even recognizable. Just thousands of lumps of flesh strewn all over the floor. After defeating him, my stigma's power was still coursing through my body. I'd never experienced anything like that before. I lost complete control of myself. At this point, Rufina arrived, and she seemed to understand exactly what had happened. Using her bowgun and Templar sword, she was able to separate me from you and prevent me from doing you any harm. And then... she took the attack herself. When I returned to my... Oh, God, that's actually really sad. When I returned to my senses, I was in her arms, dumbfounded. Her body was full of holes all over, but she hugged me as tightly as she could. That's when she drew her last breath. No. There it is, the truth you wanted. It wasn't that I couldn't save Rufina. I was the one who killed her. With my own hands. Right in front of you. But you didn't... Well, I didn't want to? Well, maybe not, but that's just an excuse. If I'd been able to control my stigma's power instead of letting it consume me and fill me with bloodlust, it wouldn't have happened. If I wasn't so weak, she'd still be alive today. That's not all, either. Looking at her standing before me at that moment, she reminded me of my mother. She reminded me of Mom when she came to strangle me. Suddenly, this feeling of betrayal welled up inside me. This desire for revenge. So I filled her full of spears. I loved them both. I wanted to protect them both. Now, what did I do? I killed them both. Me. Why? Why? Why did I what? Why didn't you tell me this before? 5 years apart, and this is the first time you're telling me this? Sorry. I know I should have done it earlier. But now I have. And I'm ready for the consequences. So go on. If you want to avenge her, do it. If anything, it'd make me happy if you did. You're so stupid! What are you... You think I want to avenge her? That's not why I'm angry at all. Why have you shouldered a burden that great all this time, all on your own? We're family, Kevin. Why didn't you ever talk to me? Why didn't you ever let me hug you? Why didn't you let me do anything to help you? Ries. I finally understand. I always thought you were hunting down heretics as some kind of atonement for letting Rufina die. But that's not it at all, is it? Come on, Ries! I finally understand. You don't want to atone for anything. You don't want to get rid of your sense of guilt at all. You... That's right. He wants to be punished for what he did. Kinky. Oh. So you finally show yourself. Why now of all times? You have my congratulations on making it this far. Beyond here lies the seventh plane, the place of my birth and the foundation of all planes hereafter. Is it gonna be Kevin underneath the mask? Do we have a his guilt has given form to pure evil and malice or something like that? Thought so. And judging by how we have to go through here to get there, I was right, wasn't I? Right about what? Allow me to ask you once again. So, Kevin Graham, do you really want to see the face underneath this mask? Damn right I do! It's time to take that creepy mask thing and take off that creepy mask thing and show us who you really are! Rufina Argent! Oh shit. With pleasure. Seriously? I did not see that coming, if so. No, yeah, okay. Rufina? I've missed you dearly, Ries. And as for you, Kevin, I'm impressed you were able to work out my real identity. It wasn't hard. I had a feeling from the start. The answer was right in front of my face the whole time, and your every taunt should have made me that much more sure. The only reason I couldn't be until now was because I didn't want to accept the truth. Quite. You always were a weakling. You can imagine how surprised I was when you were able to defeat my strongest knight. You talking about the Blade Lord? What connection does he even have to you anyway? I met him through my work. Oh, about 6 years ago. We were enemies at the time, but we managed to reach a compromise of sorts. And he felt he owed me a debt for as much. Alright. So you ended up summoning him in order to have him repay it. It's a crafty move, but that's not so out of character for you. Flattery won't get you anywhere with me. Still, now that you've made it this far, I assume you understand what I'm trying to do? Yeah, and I'm ready. Take me away. Wait, what are you two talking about? I would have thought you worked the answer to that out already, Ries. Do you recall what I said before? Kevin wants to be punished. Then you... I was born here in order to give him the punishment he strives for with his every breath. Yeah, so it's like a dark Rufina then. It's not the true Rufina. Born of hatred, malice, heartbreak, anguish, stigma, I don't know, whatever label they're gonna stick on it. It's dark, evil Rufina brought here to punish. It's Pyramid Head. It's Pyramid Head Rufina. It was to that end that I recreated Phantasma into its current form, and welcomed all of you here. All of this was a result of Kevin's desires. He wanted this to happen. You're lying! Sorry, she isn't. I couldn't tell you why it all actually happened, but what she says is true. No. The seventh plane is likely somewhere made for the express purpose of punishing me over and over. A fitting hell for someone who let his own mother die and killed Rufina to suffer and rot. And once I'm dropped down there, this'll all be over. But that's not right. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I think this might be a little hasty of a conclusion, don't you? Ries? What do you think you're doing, Ries? That's not a very nice thing to do to your sister. Shut up! You're not my sister! My sister would never do something like this! Never! Ries. You promised me, Kevin. You promised me that you'd never do anything that would make Rufina sad. So what do you think you're doing? How can you believe sacrificing yourself for everyone would make her happy? Ries, stop! Who are you to say it wouldn't? I might not be the real Rufina, but I'm a very close copy of her. If Kevin wants to be punished, why wouldn't I want to give him his wish? Because that's not how Rufina was at all! She'd never indulge something like that, not in 1,000 years! Think back to when you first met us, Kevin. You'd given up on the world, like you just wanted to disappear. But did she let you do that? No! She forced chocolate down your throat and dragged you right back into the real world, even when you didn't want to, whether you liked it or not. She... Well, this is a surprise. You've grown a lot more than I was expecting if you're able to talk back to me. Stop talking to me as if you're my sister. You are not, and I won't stand for you defiling her any further. Well, if that's how you want to do things, perhaps I should invite you in Kevin's place. Me? No! The rest of you can stand by and watch. What? No! Ries! Stop this, Rufina! She's got nothing to do with any of this! Oh, but she has! Consider this another part of your punishment. After all, if she suffers for all eternity in your place, that's going to make your suffering all the more potent, isn't it? Please! Go ahead and do your worst! Oh? Ries! Drop me wherever you like. I'll live. I'm never going to let Kevin be alone again. I will come back to him. Fighting words, my sweet sister. We shall see whether you can make good on that. Loud Dragon Ball roar of energy. Kevin? And in he goes. He pulled a Felix. Lighthouse shipping is alive and real. Oh no, not her cowl! Don't let it go! Ugh! He let it go! Rude! Lady knows how to accessorize. Don't miss her thing, yo. Could easily snag that out of the air. Hey. Hey, Ries! Wake up! Although she does look pretty nice without the cowl, too. Kevin? Oh, cool, we're in Hell. You okay? Feeling any pain? No, I'm okay, I think. But why are you... I fell through that crack alone. So why are you... You big dummy! That flick. Me? What were you thinking with all that taunting? Go ahead and do your worst? Drop me wherever you like, I'll live? And just how do you know you'll live? Oh, right, you don't! But... You're a squire, aren't you? A rookie like you with no experience or proper judgment has no business making calls that put her own safety at risk. If you can't promise to never do that again, then you and I both know you're not cut out to be part of the Grouse Ritter. That's probably what I should be saying, anyway. But it'd be real rich coming from me, huh? So I'll let you off with that little bop there. Huh? Look around us. This is it. The 7th plane. Wow. Gehenna. Yep, just flat out hell. I feel like White Gehenna should be disabled from being able to be cast here. Gehenna. Yep! It's just like the Testament's brought to life. And I'm the one responsible for bringing it all. Oh. After all, if there's one place that's possible, it's Phantasma. I don't know how Rufina came back, but she did, with both memories and personality intact. And now I have the good fortune of being punished by one of the very people I wronged. I really couldn't think of a more fitting punishment for a bastard like me. Everything she said was dead on. More than anything, I wanted to be punished. I figured that by accepting that punishment, all of this would be done, and everyone else could go back to their lives. I thought I could be just like her, sacrificing my own life so everyone else could be saved. But that wouldn't make me like her at all, would it? No. She might have given up her life to save ours, but that wasn't because she was happy to throw away her life to protect someone else's. It was because she saw literally no other option. With me unconscious, she didn't even have the choice to retreat. There was no way out of the situation without one of the 3 of us losing our lives. That's the only reason she chose to do what she did. Yeah. She was never the kind of person who would praise self-sacrifice as some kind of virtue. She'd only ever accept it as an option if all the others had been exhausted, and it was truly the only way. Right. But this time, that's not the case. You're here. I'm here. All of our friends are here. If we put our heads together, I'm sure we could have found another way out of here. One where no one would have to die. You must have realized that. And yet you tried to take the easy way out, didn't you? I hate to say it, but yeah, I did. That's a pretty shameful thing for a Dominion to be doing, huh? See? I've got no right to be criticizing you. I'm even less fit to be a knight than you. Still, standing around lamenting my own failings isn't going to get us anywhere. So if you're up for walking, let's get ourselves out of here. Come again? What are you looking so surprised for? You didn't think I was gonna stay here and accept being punished for all eternity, did you? Well, either that or stay here and wait for Rufina to show up again. Listen here, Ries. I'm not gonna deny that there's a part of me, a big part, that wants to be punished for what I did. Or that there's a part of me that was overjoyed to see Rufina again, however it came to be. But I'm not alone down here. You're here with me, and believe me, that changes everything. As long as you're here, I'm not staying in this hellhole a second longer than I have to. We're getting out of here, you and me, no matter what it takes. Right. Right. And we are at that. So, I don't think I'm allowed to cube out right now. Yep. No cubing, and I've got no support party member. That means I don't think we're going to be finding any monuments here. Oh. Strange powers overflowing from the orb. Okay, so we at least have a rest orb. But no shop, nothing like that. So, this is where we are going to leave things off for today. I'd love to dig into the meat and potatoes of Gehenna. It's pretty linear, a lot of combat. But this has gone on for a fair bit anyways, and it's a good introduction back into Trails. I'd say we have probably about 3 to 5 episodes left, but hard to gauge. So yeah, for now, thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you had fun. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all next time for some more Trails in the Sky the 3rd. Bye-bye.